Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day today. Merciless Vaughn here, back with another Bleach Brave Souls video, and in this one we are going to be discussing whether you should summon or skip on the 13 Squad Crown Summons Omen banner coming out in less than 24 hours. Hopefully you enjoy. If you do, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, you've been here for a while, subscribe. I want to get to 450 subscribers. Now with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, this banner will be available in less than 24 hours from now. We're just going to discuss the headlining units a little bit more in detail and go over the featured banner units. So for the most part, it seems like this is just kind of mostly a guild quest banner. As you can see here, this Ginyu side here, he has some increased killer effect, increased melee damage, and a flurry +2 in guild quest, and you know the increase effects in guild quest, 50% for killer, 30% melee damage, and yeah, he gets flurry +2 in guild quest here. He also is immune to the paralysis status summon, which is pretty common status summon for the human IT. He starts the barrier with +10, which is really good, so he'll be able to take quite a few bit of hits, and he's going to be taking 20% less damage, which is really good. And if you're someone that focuses on guild quest, then you might want some of these units here. As you can see here, this Retsu here, she's pretty much the same thing, just another guild quest unit. She gets flurry +2, 30% range damage, and 50% killer. Soul Reaper, normal attack damage +20%. She does have the healer and medic skills, so you know she will be able to give you a pretty decent amount of healing for you and your allies if you do use her in there. Let me see, long reach 20%, bruiser 50%, pretty high for that unit, which is good as well. She also does have the decreased damage taken -50% at half stamina only, so you do have that nice little bit of damage reduction once you get below 50%, but you know, with her healing ability, you probably won't be able to take too much advantage of that. And the Jashiro here, I mean, he's just, I guess if you need coins, he's a unit that you can use to farm coins. I mean, these mid-month banners are really nothing spectacular, really. They're just kind of like bait, but I mean, he does have some pretty good skills here. Berserker 60%, Frenzy +2, Guard Break +hit enemies, and damage lacerated enemies 60%. And he does support power attribute character strong attack damage by increasing the damage by 20%, so that's pretty good. And then here we have the featured 5-star units. All of these units you can pretty much get from the premium pool, except maybe this Chiru and this Rukia. These are kind of like seasonal units. These won't be in a premium pool, but everybody else, yeah, you can definitely get from the BBS tickets. So if you're farming point event quite often, you have a few tickets and you do some summons, you can pool these units. All of the units here, except for like the seasonal units, I've pretty much pulled from the tickets. And yeah, these units, if you're lucky enough, you can pull these from the tickets as well if you don't want to use your orbs to summon on the banner. It is a 26 step up banner here. Steps 3, 13, 6, 16. You are guaranteed one 5-star character. Steps 10 and 20, you are guaranteed one featured, one new character guaranteed 5-star character. In step 25, you get to choose a new character summon ticket. So I mean, if you want to have like the best chance of pulling this unit without having to use too many orbs, step 10 will be your best bet if you did want to summon on this banner. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and go over the featured 5-star characters very quickly. First off, here we have the Chiru, who is a mind unit with the Squad 0 killer. Soul trait is the mind droplet drop +30%. She's a ranged unit with no status elements on her attacks. She does have a barrier on her SA2. Innate skills, team/party, stamina recovery 20%, sprinter, guard break +hit enemies. Team/party, heart attribute, strong attack recharge 20%. 60% bruiser and devastation is also at 60%. Reduce strong attack cooldown 12%. Increased mind droplet +10, and let's see, her soul trait is +30 mind droplet drop. So I guess she also has increased mind droplet drop 20% in her skills, and that's being added to her soul trait. so for a total of 50%. Frenzy plus 2, team slash party, increase heart attribute, character strong attack damage 20%, and multi barrier plus 2. So yeah, if you're someone that needs droplets for whatever reason, this is a decent farming unit for it. But if you're doing epic raids quite often, you really shouldn't need droplets really. But here's a character that you can use to farm droplets if you need them. Alright, so here we have Dordoni. He is a mind Espada killer unit with a soul trait of damage inflicted at full stamina plus 30%. So he's a melee unit with no status elements on his abilities. He has a boost on his SA2. He's immune to the status element. He has a 50% chance to dodge or rancor attacks. Full stamina only increase strong attack damage 40%. Bruiser is at 60%, reduce strong attack cooldown 12%, frenzy plus 1, enhancer, sprinter, start barrier plus 10, guard break, and booster. So I mean, yeah, here's another unit that if you pull, I mean, you're getting some orbs back, but you know, just most of the units on here are premium units, so you can just get them for free. Alright, so we have Shuhei here, who is a Mind Sternritter killer unit. Soul trait damage to drained enemies plus 35%. He's a melee unit with drain on all of his attacks. He's immune to the weakened status element. Guard break, sprinter are his innate skills. His bruisers at 20%, berserker and devastation are at 40%. Team slash party increase mind attribute, character strong attack damage 20%. Have 20%, frenzy plus 1, defibrillator plus 2 seconds. Team slash party, increase mind attribute, soul reaper damage, status summon affected enemies 40%, and damage to drained enemies 35%. Yeah, just, I mean, he's an okay unit. He has drained, but, you know, I don't think you'll really be using him for, like, anything outside of, like, Psychomon. Alright, so up next is the Rukia, who is a technique unit with the Quincy Killer. Her soul trait to strong attack recharge time minus 14%. She's a ranged unit with freeze and lacerate on her attacks. She is immune to the poison status element, guard break, and she has damage to frozen enemies 40%. Berserker and devastation are both at 40%. Frenzy plus 1, defibrillator plus 5 seconds. Increased status element chance against speed attribute Quincy's. Team slash party increase technique attributes, soul reaper damage to status of affected enemies 40%, weakened defense, and sprinter plus 1. So yeah, this is definitely an older unit, you can tell because she has frenzy plus 1. Most units nowadays are getting frenzy plus 2, and really good units are getting frenzy plus 3. So pretty old unit here. I mean, if you don't have this unit and you pull her, I mean, you're getting some orbs back, and since she is a seasonal unit, you really won't be able to get her from the premium pool, so I mean, if you do pull her, it's not too bad, I guess. Here we have the old Kira, who is a power unit with the Captain Killer. Soul trait normal attack damage plus 20%. He's a ranged unit with weakening on all of his attacks except his SA2. He has a barrier and the weaken effect on his SA2. He is immune to paralysis. He has sharpshooter and at full stamina only. He has an increased normal attack damage of 40%. His Bruiser and Berserker are both at 60%. He has Diminished Air, Flurry plus 1, Defibrillator plus 5 seconds. Increased range damage 10%, acceptance on quest types. Increased range damage in guild quest 30%. Sprinter, Poise, Multi-Barrier plus 2, increased killer effect. Acceptance on quest types 30%, increased killer effect, and guild quest 50%. So yeah, this is a pretty old guild quest unit that I still used to this day. I've pulled him quite a bit from the tickets and he's still somewhat usable. And so here we have Shinji, who is a speed unit with the Human Killer. Soul trait damage inflicted at full stamina plus 30%. He's a ranged unit with no status elements on his attacks, and he has a debuff on his SA2. He reads all affiliation dodges. He has guard break and sprinter. His Bruiser is at 40%, Berserker 60%, Devastation as well as 60%. Reduce strong attack cooldown 12%. Team slash party increased speed, attribute, captain, strong attack, damage 20%, Diminisher, frenzy plus 1, and element reversal. This is a unit that I pretty much use as a link character just because of the full stamina damage boost that he has at 30% for his soul trait. So yeah, this is a pretty decent character there that you can link up with other speed units. Here we have a Hanaturo, who is a speed unit with the Human Killer. He has a Soul Shredder power droplet drop plus 30%. Melee unit, no status elements. He has a heal on his SA2 and his Soul Bomb. He has a guard break minute and at full stamina only. Full stamina damage boost 20%. And innate skills, excuse me. His bruiser is at 40%, berserker and devastation are at 60. Increased power link slot potions plus 5, increased power droplet drop plus 30%, frenzy plus 1, increased melee damage except in some quest types, increased melee damage in co-op quest 30%, and sprinter plus 1. So this is a unit that you can definitely use for epic raids. He, has the increased droplet drop and increased link slot potion skill. So yeah, he's also going to be able to heal you, and if you stay at full stamina, you'll have this 20% full stamina damage boost. Alright, so here we have Baragon, who is a power unit with the Hollow Killer, Soul Trade Strong Attack damage plus 20%. Range unit, weakening and drain on all of his attacks except his SA2. He has a debuff on his SA2. He's immune to the freeze status element Sprinter, and at full stamina only, he reduces his strong attack cooldown by 6%. Bruiser and Berserker are both at 20%, Devastation 40%. This is an old unit, so these are pretty low percentages here. Full stamina, damage boost 20%, diminisher, frenzy plus 1, defibrillator plus 5 seconds, weaken defense, and guard break. He has some pretty decent skills here. I mean, weakening and drain are definitely some great status elements, and he does reduce his strong attack cooldown at 6%. So he has a lot of bonuses at full stamina, but he's just a pretty old unit. Last but not least, we have the Kisuke here, who was the last arena banner unit that they ever released. Fun fact. Technique unit with the no affiliation killer, soul trade, strong attack, recharge time minus 12%. Range unit, lacerate on his attacks. He's immune to the paralysis status element. He has lacerator and sprinter plus 1. Lacerator is just him inflicting his status elements every 5 seconds. Bruiser 20%, berserker and devastation 40%. Havoc 20%, frenzy plus 1, defibrillator plus 2 seconds, damage to lacerated enemies 40%, long stride, and poise. Yeah, this was a arena unit. They don't release arena unit banners anymore. This was the very last one, so yeah, it's kind of cool. Alright, so that's it for the 3 new units and the other featured 5-star units that we have here. Yeah, besides this, Rukia and Yachiru, all of these units are in the premium pool, even as for the new ones there, so you really don't need to waste your orbs on this banner. So I say you can skip it, unless these are like your favorite characters from the Bleach series and you would like to have them. By all means, go ahead and summon. They are your orbs. You do whatever you want with them. If pulling one of them makes you happy, then by all means, go ahead and do it. But yeah, if you're tired of 1000-year Blood War banners, well, unfortunately, we're definitely going to get at least one more. With the anime airing up next month, we're going to get another 1000-year Blood War here, either for this end of month or next end of month, or maybe one in November, but no telling when. But I do think we are going to get one, but I could be wrong about that as well. But anyways, yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and as usual, until next time.